Female genital mutilation comprises all procedures involving partial or total removal of the external female genitalia or other injuries to the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. Though referred to as uncouth and barbaric by opponents, the practice has historically had a significant footprint in 31 of the 54 African countries. Bringing the discussion to Uganda, until recently, FGM was widely practiced in 6 districts within Karamoja and Sebei sub-regions.
They were saying a woman to reduce appetite is when they utilize. That's they reduce what? Appetite. Because a long time ago, men were going for hunting for a long time or for a walk for a long time. And when they come back, you find a woman is at home. She doesn't think of a man until when the husband comes back, and then he'll do what? She'll do it. She'll not be happy. Nowadays, women who are married are the ones who are mutilated because of they have a system where when you want to circumcise your son, and you are a woman who has not got mutilated, you can't circumcise your son. You have to be circumcised first.
Between 1981 and 1986, Sister Paulina Chepkumun, now 50 years old, experienced first-hand pressure to undergo FGM. As a teenager with aspirations, she was studying far from home to escape the ordeal after her parents attempted to force her into undergoing the procedure.
I went to school by myself, but my parents, they didn't want me to go to school. So I was not interested. Now the missionary sister saw my interest. So she's the one who supported me. Now during holidays, I remain in the mission most of the time.
Although Paulina successfully avoided mutilation, the NRA guerrilla war disrupted her education, eventually leading her to early marriage.
So when I finished my P784, that is the time they took me to secondary school. They paid for me everything. But the parents, they wanted dowry. They wanted to give me out. So they were timing me anyway. So 86 when 7 entered the floor, I was in senior 2. So when I went to the village, that's the time they gave me to a man, and I was married off by the Uri. They paid 50 cows.
However, escaping mutilation came at a cost. Her co-wives frequently bullied her, calling her demeaning names. The emotional torment forced her out of her 6-member marriage network.
So now when I also responded, why do you abuse me like this? So instead I was expecting my husband to support me, but the husband could not support me. So they ended up even fighting. There's even a day we fought. Because she came and slapped me when I was there sitting, breastfeeding the girl. She slapped me because now she was minimizing me, that you are a coward, useless, you don't deserve to be in this home.
This turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Paulina went back to school and later became a midwife and an anti-FGM advocate.
They said they want nursing aides who can work as nursing aides. I started working with some NGO called NSF. So NSF now told me, no, madam, we see you are very active. You have to go back to school. So I went by using my own salary, senior 3, senior 4, I finished. Then I finished, I went on to the course. I was sponsored by State House, senior midwifery in Sandu, Kampala. After now my course, I now started working.
Today, she educates young girls, particularly new mothers, about the dangers of FGM. Medically, FGM is known to cause severe bleeding, complications in urination, infections, and childbirth difficulties, which can contribute to newborn deaths.
You know, when they cut those majoras, the minor and the major majoras, so they put those scars together, the accidents, so they become rigid. So when the woman is pushing the baby, they tear down.
While statistics indicate that the overall prevalence of FGM in Uganda is low compared to other African nations, this has been so because the country has made considerable progress in combating the practice. In 2015, the Ugandan government, through Parliament, passed the Anti-FGM Act. This legal framework has significantly influenced some communities to abandon the practice. The advocacy efforts of civil society organizations have played a crucial role in reducing FGM cases, bringing Uganda closer to its total eradication.
Who in this world can accept when they take your fertile part of the land and then they give you a land which has no fertility? What will you go and do there?
Despite these successes, isolated cases persist, largely due to Uganda's porous borders with Kenya. For instance, in Amdat district, while no crossings were witnessed during our visit, specific points serve as escape routes for those seeking FGM. Area local leader in Benyini Sub-County, Kweni district, Kamara John says the perpetrators fear being caught, so they conduct the procedure in the bush.
Up on the hills. Then the other ones who've been in to Gumo, they come down. So they meet just where there is no leadership, in the bush.
However, no cases were officially registered last year.
You need the clitoris as an evidence. Now, that's the first thing they hide. And from there, the person whom they have cut rarely speaks. So we need just ground surveillance.
Encounters with former FGM practitioners revealed that some communities still cherish the practice. One former surgeon, whose identity remains withheld, admits that her desire to continue cutting is only suppressed by the existing legal framework.
I really feel like doing the same thing again so that I can continue receiving my gifts. Actually, if I even receive now some few girls, I can really do it because I have now lost the respect that I used to have before in the community. Even the love that I used to have with the community members.
She openly accuses anti-FGM activists of interfering with her income-generating activity. At Chepkwasta Health Center 3 in Ibuko district, reports indicate that some traditional birth attendants still perform FGM under the guise of assisting expectant mothers during delivery.
They assume that the mother is facing the pain of childbirth, but in other words, some tend to mutilate as the mother is what? In that pain.
Fidel, a reformed surgeon, confirms these assertions, emphasizing that in many cases, it's the mothers themselves who beg to be mutilated. She suggests that alternative livelihood programs would provide a sustainable solution.
We have kept on having meetings, though they have kept on insisting that this was our big source of income.
To effectively stamp out FGM, experts argue that Uganda alone cannot win the battle. Patricia Nangiro, a sexual reproductive health and gender-based violence program analyst at the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, advocates for a regional legal framework through the East African community to combat the practice effectively.
We have ensured that we have community surveillance teams on the ground who are at least ensuring that they are monitoring the trend, how it's happening, and they are able to at least notify or report. But also the challenges is that we also have FGM happening across the borders currently. People moving from Uganda to the Kenya side, especially in the West Pokot area, since it's the one bordering the FGM communities in Uganda. So you find addressing cross-border FGM is quite a challenge. You might get culprits moving to the other side, like perpetrators, the cutters, the cutting being done the other side, and how do you bring those people to book on the Uganda side? So also to address such kind of a challenge, as a country right now, there is consultation going on with the East African Legislative Assembly to make sure that a law is put in place that will be addressing cross-border FGM across different countries, not only between Kenya and Uganda, but also it will include countries like Tanzania, Djibouti, Somalia, and yeah, all those.
Female genital mutilation is just one part of the broader problem of gender-based violence in Karamoja and Sebei sub-regions.
In fact, this thing...
The story of Chemtai Rose Sudi, a retired teacher and a mother of 8, exemplifies a woman who has endured social injustices for 40 years due to cultural beliefs.
Can you imagine a man whom have produced 8 children from 84 up to now? The firstborn, I produced him in 1985. And this time now when I've become old, I'm growing even gray hair, is when the man is saying, you were just a friend, you just quit my place.
I asked her the question, did you contribute towards the construction? And he said yes, because this man was the one keeping my ATM. But there is no evidence written that shows that he contributed. You know, that evidence is in form of either receipts or, and that is what you must learn.
Fortunately, support from UNFPA has significantly improved the lives of survivors like Chemtai, demonstrating the critical role international organizations play in addressing gender-based violence.
Literally, she does not have any evidence towards her. But what was more in priority was protecting her life and being here, because she didn't mention, he went to lawyers, and lawyers wrote a letter, we are giving you 7 days to live here. You imagine, he went to a law firm.
I had no option but to file a case immediately to seek for protection. And I'm happy to report that I secured that order. And the survivor is happily at her home. She cannot be chased. And very interesting, because this man is living outside with a concubine, he's supposed to give her notice if he wants to visit home.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.